Good afternoon. We are, you can't turn, okay, fine. Good afternoon. We are live at the CMBA Nuc Yard for our very first 2021 Live in the Nuc Yard presentation. And we are here with Beekeeper, as far as I'm concerned, Master Beekeeper, Brian Bender.
I just keep some bees.
Carly Faye, and a handful of our members who all came to join in and take a look at what's going on and how to hive our nukes that we all picked up yesterday. So with that, I'm going to let Brian get started.
All right. Hey, everybody. How we all doing? We're going to put these nukes we got yesterday into their permanent homes for the season. So I'm just going to get into it and go through it. So yesterday when we got them, what I did was I put them on top of their hives where they were going to be, released the bees so they can start foraging and get oriented to this location. So they...
Talk about how you transported them and got them here?
Yeah, we put them, stack them all up on the back of a trailer and strap them down and just drive them down the highway.
Where are they from?
Originally from Florida. Maryland, the season is so short, so we need to pull bees from down south just to get a jump on them. You can also just, like me, this one top bar hive over here survived the winter, and last weekend I went and shook the queen and a bunch of bees into the other hive next to it, so I just did a split. And the top bar hive that's left, they will raise their own queen, and in 3 weeks she should be mated and start laying eggs again. All right, so I'm going to set this hive to the side, the nuke to the side. Take the lid.
Should I have to come closer?
Yeah. I'm taking the cover off. Take this top. Box off. Yeah, we're doing double deep this year. I'm going to pull out a bunch of frames to give them room to go in.
What do you do with the ants?
What?
You worry about the ants at all?
No. What ants?
I don't know, let's talk about the ants.
Oh. No, I'm not worried about them. The bees will take care of them.
Yeah, they don't eat much.
Cinnamon's a good thing, too. They don't like cinnamon in the
Really?
Yeah.
You just sprinkle it on
Put
the
it around the hive and the hive.
I'm going through and I'm pulling my comb because anything that's weird I don't want in there.
And you've got 5 frames in your nuke, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to make room for those 5.
Yeah.
And when you say weird, what are you looking for?
Just anything that's not straight or drawn out
Put the
nicely.
best comb.
This one's off-centered. So if I put that in, the bees will draw out the comb on this side deeper and the comb on this side shallower on the frames next to it. So it's better to get those out of there while you can.
And what will you do to protect them from wax molds over the next month or so?
The wax moths aren't really an issue until the humidity picks up in July. So you really don't have to worry about everything all the time. So this one was a dead out. This has still got some bees on it.
Yeah, you got some more in there.
How will you store these until with the bees in it?
More than likely, these combs are junky. I'm just going to scrape them down and we'll recycle that wax.
Oh, okay.
So,
Here, Brian.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need that. I'm just going to...
And if you're a brand new beekeeper and you don't have any comb in your hive, you just take out 5 empty frames and stick your nuke in, and then they will build on the empty frames. Ooh, nice.
These on the lid.
Your other one's like this. These ones.
Hey Brian, how about that dark comb? Is that,
I usually try to get rid of it as much as you can. So this one they're just starting to draw out. You can tell the wax is still really white. I'm going to put that in there to give them something to work on. Oh, this next one's pretty empty too.
That's how my box looks.
The inside's done, but look, this one's got honey on it. That's capped honey up the top there. So that's going to get, I'm going to put that on the side. I mean, you'll be surprised how much they'll move honey around within the hive. I mean, because usually when the foragers come back, they deposit it right in the first cells they get to, and then the house bees inside will move it up into the hive. So it's a constant process of moving honey around.
Oh, that's pretty.
This one's got brood.
Nice brood.
Honey on the corners. Pretty textbook.
Brian, could you quick show the...
Any,
Okay, great. Thank you.
I can't
all my
Left
side
side.
frames together, does it matter?
No. I'm gonna keep all mine together too.
Well, if you have,
The groove together.
Yeah. Yeah, you can keep the brood together.
Did you see the queen? I saw my fat lady.
I don't see the
You did?
queen yet, but
She's so
it's
orange.
more brood on this one.
Nice groove. Nice pattern coming along. Plenty up on the edge.
Honey in the corners.
The drone comb there.
There's some drone brood. This
Brood.
the drone you can tell because it sticks out farther.
Right, and you like it on those edges. That's a good sign,
and
right?
they're very calm.
Yeah.
How come they're not stinging you?
Sure, they got there. You know, the sun's shining. There's pollen and nectar to
They're
gather.
new.
They're busy.
So it doesn't really matter what time
No
of day you do
brood.
this.
Nice, nice.
No.
So you got at least 3 frames of brood in there.
Yeah.
Did you get from your? I see a drone.
They're just sitting on top of it, so I'm not
There's
sure.
the queen.
Oh, wait, you got the queen?
Early. Unmarked.
Brian?
There's
Yeah,
mama.
she is, look at her.
If anyone can see it.
Wait a minute. Let me get it up. Okay, there we go.
Right, yeah.
And there's the queen.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
All right.
I think if I can grab her, I'm gonna mark her.
Great. Oh, this is
Good to
wonderful.
watch.
Yeah, right. And what's the color for 20?
All right, he's grabbing the queen because he wants to mark her, so it'll be easier to find her in the
Put her
future.
in there. What's that thing you got her in?
This is the queen marking tool.
All right.
So I just line her up in the grid.
Got a white marker?
Marker.
Good job.
You don't do it. I mean,
I'm not
practice
doing
on other
it.
bees
Yeah,
first.
no, I'm definitely not doing it for the queen nor my doing
But if it looks like, if yours looks like that, you'll be able to.
So I'll just set her, and then I'll just set her in the shade to dry for a minute.
And how come they're not stinging you? Or are they?
Maybe because they're
No, they're not. I'm
colder.
just
I am a small,
being
yes.
calm about it.
My initial.
There you go. No, nothing.
Plus, it's the springtime. The bees are very just, they're looking at flowers. They're very active. They're not really worried about me. They have too much to do.
As long as you don't get violent with them.
You gonna put that sugar thing in?
No, I'm gonna put it to the side.
There?
I put it on top of the inner cover yesterday. There was hardly any left in my box.
I mean, the nectar's coming in pretty hard right now.
So they shouldn't need to be fed.
And then I just shake it to the bottom like that, that corner.
Yeah,
And then-
it should be good.
Now they get down.
Right, right. I take time all the time. I'm looking
Yeah.
Clear enough when you go in?
Oh, I don't, don't tell me everything, even if it's like cold and I'm just putting like a clear in there.
Queen.
I still put it in.
Go!
And down she goes.
There she goes.
All right, that's
Back.
so fun.
Just like that. And then I'm gonna fill this in with the extra frames.
Even the dead frames?
Pretty good.
Yeah, they'll clean that right out.
You're good about that.
They are very, very hygienic. So any of these dead bees that are left, they'll just take them outside of the hive and throw them down on the ground.
You could also just put it.
Yeah, you can.
Right. And then because we're not going to be up here for 2 weeks, I'm going to add this deep box back on top because it's drawn comb and we're not going to be here next week. And if we were going to come back next week, I would probably just go with that box. But the weather's going to be nice. These bees are really expanding because every frame of catch brood, when they emerge, that's enough bees to cover 3 frames. So you got to think of a cat brood frame tripling the size of the hive.
Wow.
So for general purposes, do you recommend
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
If you're starting with drawn with just foundation, I would just do 1 box and feed them
I have 1
and
deep one.
yeah, and just leave it at 1 deep. Put the lid on, let them go.
But you would feed them.
so you would feed these?
Yeah, I would give them some feed because if we have a rainy day or something, give them
Okay.
something to do. They'll use that sugar to draw wax out and stuff, draw comb.
But we're not feeding the Nuc Yard.
We're not feeding these because they have drawn comb. So everything they bring in, they're going to store. If they were drawing out wax, every drop of nectar they bring in will go towards
I
wax.
should probably just put the feeder
What's
frame
the
back in, right? Either have
negative about putting that deep super on right now?
It's too much space for them to keep the nest warm.
Oh,
So
but
if
you're
it was going to
saying
be,
it's gonna be warm this
yeah,
week,
if it was
so
going to
it's
be
not a
cool
big deal.
nights or
They-
really rainy or
they
something
can
like that,
cluster.
yeah, it'll inhibit them from being able to expand to their maximum size.
Brian, if I just have 1 deep on, how long do I wait to put the other deep on?
I mean, I would let the bees tell you, but if it's just drawn comb, I would probably count on. I mean, if it's just foundation, look probably a week. Go back in and see, And if they're struggling to draw out the outer frames, just go ahead and stick those in the middle, and then that way, take some drum comb and put on the outside edge. That way, the bees will never want there to be space next to the brood frames, so they'll focus on drawing them out right away. So,
And what's too cool, like, when you say that gets too cool, like
if they have
40?
to cluster, yeah, like 40, 45 at night.
Which I think is supposed to get.
It still is April.
It's
In
really
Maryland.
yeah.
You not just above my pull box this week.
No, I don't use upper entrances.
You don't use what?
No. Upper entrances. The problem I've discovered with upper entrances is that when you take the upper entrance away, there's a cloud of bees trying to use that entrance, and it just becomes very hectic trying to infect your colony. So when you use the lower entrance, that entrance never moves, so they always use that entrance no matter
What
whether
do you
you've
mean
got...
by upper
well,
entrance?
we're like a spot at the top.
You don't have
Yeah,
it for
so-
people are new.
Like yours, like
Yeah,
yours.
when the outer inner cover has a
Yeah, a
notch.
notch,
Yeah.
or some people will use a shim
Yeah.
to make a gap.
Yeah.
Anything that, I've seen people drill holes in their supers to let the bees go in, that way.
Or ventilation.
And to close it, all I do is take my outer cover and push it back
Yeah.
in the front. Then that way they don't lose it. If you have inner covers that have that edge and don't really want it to be functional.
What did you say was wrong with these two?
Nothing serious.
They're not foundation.
So we're kind of saying that one little opening is the best.
That's what he said.
We're trying to keep the
Cuts down on confusion.
yards here all the same.
I open mine up on really hot
Frames
days.
aren't going
Like
anywhere.
I'll
Being
push
that's
mine.
pull it up a little bit.
Yeah, to give them more insulation and whatnot. I also sprinkle mine.
Are you using solid or screen bottom board?
We use solid bottom boards.
Then they don't have to do so much work in keeping it that 70.
I've always heard that the bees
There
can
she is.
control the airflow better with one entrance. So I've noticed too, if you use a screen bottom board, a lot of times the bees will make weird burr comb between frames, and it just becomes a mess to
So you don't use the screen bottom.
No, I use solid bottoms.
Okay.
So you might,
Screen.
when the bees come back, they might come to this top a little bit and congregate by the lid, but they will figure it out very shortly that they need to go to the lower spot. All right, let's do the next one.
Hey, yes,
Little
sir.
smoke. Off to the side. Down. And you cover it off.
First one?
Just open.
Okay, good to know.
I know, anyway, I feel like Carolyn.
We're still toddler stage.
Our son did it all.
Okay. Second year, but we didn't have the nuke this past day. You Nuc Yard this past year, so you really
There you go.
This is a great place because what I found,
No, honestly, in my own personal apiaries, I only use mediums.
Okay.
I despise lifting deep boxes. They're just very heavy and cumbersome. Yeah, honestly, I could do 2 mediums too. I'm a bit of a gambler when it comes to these, so I will definitely
You
push
also
it.
have 100 hives, so it doesn't matter.
It's only 80, but yeah.
Back to 100. Because I'm waiting for your post
Here's
that
me
say,
framing that.
there you go.
I caught my first swarm.
All right,
Hey, congratulations.
No,
Nice.
no.
Oh,
lid.
He does. He catches
yeah,
like
I got a couple.
This year?
No, not this year yet.
Yeah,
I did
I got
get a
two
call that
more
somebody
calls.
saw one.
People called me and I picked them up. Oh, really? It was so amazing. Wow. One they installed
This year?
a bee tree in their yard.
Nice. Right,
And
this
it
is
was
just
like,
foundation.
Yeah.
and the foundation this year on the outside, right?
No, well,
Not outside, but of your little space.
yeah. Well, honestly, if we could put it right in the middle of the brood nest, just so they will focus their energy on that.
Okay.
But that could also cause them, the queen, just to move to the outer end of the leg. But eventually they will fill that in.
Okay. And you're not spending like a ton of time looking for the queen. It's just kind of like you
No.
see her as you go.
Yeah. I'm going through, I'm looking. This one's got, you can gently blow the bees out of the way.
Yeah.
This one has eggs on it, so I would imagine the queen's probably on this frame.
A lot of times the queen will be marching to the edge to get out of the sun.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, they don't like the sun.
I mean,
See how he's holding it over the box?
Yeah, always hold over the box because that queen, you never know. I'm really nuts about that.
It would have been like finding water.
Oh, so we found
It is like
yeah.
finding
You don't step on it.
Got it.
Skill that I have.
Finding mama.
Look how they're just finding their own business.
yeah, they got a lot to do. And
Oh, that's a
raising
nice
brood.
one, frame, bees.
Yeah, they got some brood on this one. A little bit of honey in the corners. Pretty textbook stuff.
So most frames have a little mix of like.
Yeah, it'll never, that was the one thing when I first noticed when I read all the bee books, they're always like, oh yeah, the frame of brood. And I'm like,
Right,
there's
yeah.
never 100%
Okay.
frame of
Okay,
brood.
that's
It's always a
exactly.
mix of everything.
Yeah.
It's generally just
That's ideal, really.
the most of.
Okay.
Ideally, you want to see some honey up on the sides, and then maybe some drone brood on the sides, and then the worker brood in the middle.
Okay.
That's a classic.
More brood on this one.
Gotcha.
Couple of queen cups.
They're ready for another love, man.
Yeah, they're just
There's a lot of
cups.
bees in this hive.
So
Where do you
not.
see the queen cups thing? Sorry.
See them right there?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna pull them back to look. They're dry, so that doesn't mean anything. Bees will make those just out of habit, practice.
If we see those in a nuke, should we open them up?
I mean, yeah, you should pull them back and just to see if there's jelly in there. I mean, if there's an egg and royal jelly in there, then you might have an issue.
Okay.
Have you just killed it if you open it up?
No, they'll repair that.
Okay.
So
If
you're
there's
not,
something living
you're not
in there, it's gonna
squishing.
die.
You're not killing them, essentially.
So what would it mean then if you did see an egg and some royal jelly that it's starting to release food?
Yeah.
Pull that.
Yeah, that probably the queen is either they don't like the queen, she wasn't mated well, or they're crowded and they might want to swarm. So,
I heard it was good to have like an extra queen that the stronger one will take over.
sometimes they'll just swarm with a stronger queen. Yeah, they won't always just
Yeah, that's.
kill an old queen. Choose which one. I didn't see the queen, but I wasn't really looking.
Yeah. And it's better just to get them in.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
These are newbies.
We're gonna get them settled, let them get into their space, and then honestly, sometimes with the move, the queens are hiding, or they might stop laying for a day or two. So, you just never know.
And
Will you check them again in a week to make sure you're still seeing eggs?
Yeah, I mean, I would do a week, I guess, but you could do 2 weeks. As long as there's still some brood in there, they should be good.
Every time you open it, it's one woman.
yeah.
Delays their.
Yeah, every time you open the hive smoke, it's like 3 days to back, so
Clean up,
try to
girls.
minimize your
What's that right there, bro?
Resist the urge.
ash or something. Sandy, Florida.
Yeah.
There you go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
There you go.
Get out of the way, girls.
Where are we putting these?
In the nuke.
There you go. Number 2.
And I share a really cool idea. I think you guys might all know this, but when I learned it, Master Beekeeper told me that when you're about to put the next frame on, take a pillowcase, just throw it over.
Yep, we do
And
it.
within seconds, the bees are gone, so you don't run the risk of
Oh,
I think
throw it over.
yeah, just for a second in the shade, it pushes it down.
Just come on. Oh, I'm sure you might second.
Hang on, Facebook friends. I'm going to move a little closer here.
I thought when I put it in, how do you know if you should do a split? I mean, other than the obvious of, it looks like you've got the swarm, but if you don't have that, how do you know? Or do you just decide if you want to do one?
Yeah, so with me, because I'm always expanding, grafting, making queens, making splits,
Yeah.
as soon as I see drones, that's my signal in the season to start splitting, grafting, stuff like that.
Okay.
Why? Because you see drones.
Because the queens, they need to go out and they need to mate with drones, and if there's no drones for them to go out and mate with, then they're not really any good to me. So,
And you mean live drones, not just like...
yeah, drones on the comb.
Yeah.
So once I see the drones walking around in the hive, I say, okay, I can now make splits and have these queens go out and mate.
Because you're
So that's
looking,
what
you're looking
thinking.
to make. I'm not
Right now, you have to know there's another queen that you would like to
He
be.
wants queens, so he needs drones to
Yeah,
make.
Yeah, I don't-
it's important that he stated with that he's into not just beekeeping but
Sure.
reproduction.
Queen rearing.
Yeah. So his eyes I think there's too much talk about splitting these days. You have 1 or 2 hives. I mean, last year I did a split and you don't want to.
I don't think any of these are hives.
So I'm gonna wait this year until the weather's right, and if I need to, I will. In the meantime, I'll have my swarm box out and watch when I need to put another box on.
Got me.
But if you
What?
Scrape the stinger with the hive tool and give it a little smoke.
And you wanted it.
What is this smoke do?
Then
It masks the alarm pheromone because it's basically like a bullseye. Once they sting you, and they'll come coming back to that one spot. So
A year that it would be clean.
now, when I do a split, I'll go
Got a
get a
little honey on it.
buy a
Oh, you
queen.
buy it?
From Chesapeake Queen
One time
Company.
I tried to wait for them to make the queen and it didn't happen, so I'm a little leery on this splitting thing. It depends on what you're.
And I guess I'm kind of guessing a little bit, but I've had two hives. I've had the hives clean themselves twice.
Had what?
There's the
They
queen right
clean
there.
themselves twice.
Got her? Hello, girlfriend. Mama's here. You gonna mark her?
And
Nice to see her, though, huh?
yeah, more brood,
They're very different.
honey.
I have trouble with eggs too.
God, I know.
It has to be just right.
To anyone who might be making comments or wanting to ask questions on Facebook, the sun is out and I can't see any questions, so I'm sorry. But we will have this recorded on Facebook on the Central Maryland Beekeepers page, so we can answer questions from there.
But is it possible to finally say, oh, here's one, but they have a frame with a queen on it, and then separate the...
You definitely don't want two queens in a one hive. Capture it, and then you've got the beginning of a new hive. Then you've got a split in the making. If you've got two healthy queens.
I guess it's just a matter of timing.
Because what they swarm is they make a second queen, and for a short period of time, those queens are in that hive. And then they'll take one of those queens and have to be supplied to make a split.
But only if there's enough bees in the whole hive.
Right, well, they know. That's them triggering it.
This is another condition. You take a frame and
Yeah, that's all.
push all the frames together. All right.
That looks simple.
Nothing to it.
That looked very simple.
Box on top and.
So I can call you later tonight.
You would be surprised how many random texts I get throughout the season. People never give me their name. They're just like, "Hey, my bees are doing this. What should I do?" And I'm like, "Okay." And they'll be like, "No, if you're in a meeting, they're like, dude, thanks for that advice." I'm like, "I have no idea."
Okay.
I'm glad it helped. Yeah,
Well, you got me a queen in like October, so thank you for that.
no problem.
That last queen that was out in West Virginia, that saved my hive.
Nice. All right, I think that's going to be it for the Facebook
For the
Live.
Facebook
and then,
Live, yep.
Brian,
Thank you very much, Brian.
And if anybody wants to try it, Jude will take a group over to here to do, and then Chris, you want to take these three up here?
Okay, thank you everyone for watching. We will be doing this again, I think in about maybe 2 weeks or so, but you will get a notification of the events as they occur. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.